to catch him out. He has a pounce. I've seen this before with the Slark, but everybody's inside the snowball. FN has nowhere to go. And that's going to be Witch Doctor drawing first blood. And yeah, that's a very poor start for the Slark. He really just had no idea that was happening. And thought everybody would just go out to the lanes normally.
And it's kind of funny, as you said, no idea that's happening, except it happened to them last time on the Slog as well. That's exactly how we got the 12 souls. But either way, Bounty Runes split half-half. This mid lane should be pretty even until level 5, where Spectre's just going to race down the waves, and then Windrunner will get lost hits under towers. So after that, Spectre will be in the jungle. But I think
the Shadow
pretty
Fiend.
even. Oh, sorry, Shadow Fiend. Yes, for some reason my brain died a little bit there. The other thing I'm really interested to see, it looks like they have Spectre. Maybe the supports are going to rotate up there, but for now, running this Jakiro Tusk lane, trying to be that big harass lane.
Yeah, Jakiro Tusk is very potent, but it comes at the cost of Spectre's farm. Enfeebled Spectre, literally hitting for 19 damage. She gets one last hit. That's actually miraculous. So Cole is going to have a really hard time. They can't protect Spectre's farm given this lane assignment. But even if they rotated the Jakiro up towards top, how much of a difference would that actually make? Could they zone out Funnick in resolution? The ward placed out by the Radiant side does not block the pole camp. The line is like right here for the edge of that spawn box. But they'll still know exactly when Witch Doctor is pulling and should be able to contest that with their dual lane. So I kind of like the move not to block it. Resolution's going to pull the aggro, but does get cast. The Bane is going to be dropped pretty low here as Spectre comes in from the sidelines. No points into the Desolate. Resolution should be able to run out of here, although he's not going to be very comfortable. A lot of damage will be thrown. The cooldown on cast is just too long to get these early kills. Now turn around on Victor with the Void, with the right clicks. Funnick trying to get in range, but slowed down by that Spectral Dagger trail. Funnick will continue chasing as his Bane is going to take a little bit more damage, and nobody's going to go down, although cooldowns were traded.
Illusion.
This is not a game to be a safe laner when you're dealing with this amount of pressure from either side, and it's something we're probably going to see a lot more of. Dual lanes and the off lanes looking very attractive right now. This is going to mean that mid is effectively just 1v1, although traditionally you'd see a lot of interruption. Yeah, Victor. It wasn't the first blood, they did get the kill previous, but
Funnick taking not very much damage from this Maledict, and now they're going to maybe kill off Cole. Funnick looking to go back in, but they don't have enough auto attack damage with that Stout Shield, so yeah, just both of these safe lanes, the danger zone.
Yeah, safe in quotation marks. They're anything but right now, Mitch going for rotation in mid. The Shadow Fiend is starting to pick up momentum over the Windrunner, has a slight CS advantage when it comes to denies especially, and it looks like they're going to bait in Aloha Dance. Snowball comes forward, Grazine has the Windrunner operating, looking for the power shot, doesn't do that much damage with the raises. Grazine might go down as the bottle will sustain himself, caught in the ice shards. Aloha Dance will die, but does get the Tusk kill.
He got it after though.
Yeah.
Really close there. I thought for sure Tusk would... Oh, I thought for sure Windrunner would go down. Grazine just bottling up and walking out on her baby. In the meantime, in bottom, Dazzle has come out of the jungle for a few seconds to try and help up Slork. Since Tusk is middle, he gets a little bit less pressure, but still that Liquid Fire, just a big pain in his side.
Yeah, once level 6 comes out from the Slark, it's a lot more manageable, but getting to that point is a very rocky road. Even if the Tusk dies before the Shadow Fiend, that would still be a nice gold exchange for Aloha Dance. But he'll still lose his souls, and now this lane gets a lot more manageable for the Windrunner. Tusk is going to bump into Aloha Dance. Gets a good block off with the shards. Power shot going to land. They have the shackle, not going to connect to trees or creeps. Aloha Dance should survive, although Grazine's going to go for a TP in from blue. The Dazzle's there if they needed a shallow grave, so no harm, no foul. Everybody will just go back their own way.
Yeah, and Grazine getting that regen rune just actually getting cancelled. Never mind, Bane has again Killed the Witch Doctor. What is this lane? Pure damage from that Brain Sap OP. Cole now doing quite a bit of damage to the Bane, but now with the Enfeeble Art just gonna tickle Resolution and gonna be a-okay. The Night Stalker also got very low there. Looks like they were trying to engage. Again, Phonic has picked up a Ring of Protection, you know, he is a tank.
It's so hard to deal with the Ring of Protection, Poor Man Shield combination on a lot of those melee offlaners. Although usually they'd get zoned out, you don't do like any damage. The reason why they get that kill on the Witch Doctor is because the Night Stalker was sticking around in lane on very low HP. They only had 2 tangos between them, and he was using those to regen up, but out down towards bottom lane. Some traded blows this time. Not going to net anybody a kill, and they felt that they could bring Phonic down, but they really just didn't have the DPS reliable enough. Paralyzing Gas gonna get a couple of good bounces. Phonic to Resolution to Phonic, but Victor is still taking way too much damage. They'll get the kill, and that's going to fill up Phonic's urn. The Night Stalker can now trade with Cole pretty effectively, although under the tower, Phonic is going to give Spectre a wide berth. They're looking for her, trying to munch through the trees. They found her, but with the Spectral Dagger, Cole is going to find himself a little safe spot. Now, coming back into Resolution, but with that Brain Sap heal, Resolution is going to make the turn onto Lacoste. Resolution still surviving, although taking down. Can Spectre get this kill? And can the Night Stalker finish off the Jakiro? Salving up Lacoste is going to survive. Phonic around the corner, just not able to do enough damage. No boots on Phonic, but now they bring in Windrunner. Grazine lands the shackle onto Phonic. Dispersion, or rather the desolate damage onto Phonic is there. Do they have enough? Dagger and right click. Double kill for Cole, and just like that, the laning stage got a lot easier, although still not CSing nearly as well as the Slark.
Yeah, that was a super long engagement. Finally, people TPing and rotating up, but a little bit of a crazy dive, maybe not panning out for them. At the same time, Wicked Sick has, again, okay, this Dazzle also doesn't have a point in Shallow Grave at level 3. I'm really questioning this. Trying to get a kill onto Mitch. If they can catch him out of position, of course, a Pounce will probably kill him. Even if he goes in the snowball, he has to come back to them. They opened with the Poison Touch. Where is the Pounce? I just deciding not to go for it.
The thing about Dazzle's skill builds is it's all situation reliant, but up towards top, another dive. Phonic gets the Void onto Cole. 1 auto attacks, all that's necessary, but Paralyzing Cast, can he get out to safety? No, just not fast enough. Phonic will be able to run him down and smack him down. Now looking for Lacoste. Phonic is diving forward, very low HP, but it doesn't matter. Night Stalker is a menace. Ice Shards will be thrown out, but the Ice Shards miss, and the Snowball won't be able to connect. Phonic is too darn fast with 3 points in the Hunter of the Night. Power Shot also going to miss. So much time being wasted by Phonic, but now shackled to a tree. Can they finally bring him down? The Focus Fire is doing nothing! Holy cow, that Poor Man Shield blocking the majority of that damage. He'll be able to casually run past the tower in mid. Focus Fire probably wasn't the play there. Usually that increases your damage output, but against the Night Stalker with this much armor and with the damage block, it probably hurt more than it helps, but even if she didn't, there's no way they kill him off.
Yeah, it did nothing at all, pretty much, so, yeah. Now, Resolution back up top, making Cole have trouble lost hitting this Spectre. 6th in top net worth, not where you want to be. So, and Slark is doing only a little bit better at 4th, but really this carry is not having a good time at all.
And as far as carries that can contribute with less farm, Slark compared to Spectre, Slark is going to at least have some amount of damage inside the fights and a good amount of CC. The slow from Spectral Dagger is okay, but not nearly enough. Mitch.
Up on top. Yeah, it looks like Cole going down to the auto attacks of Phonic, and Phonic, it's not even nighttime anymore, but making sure they get in that last little hurrah as it switches over. And I love this. The moment Bane, Bane pretty much hit 6, used his ult. So, and now Phonic maybe gonna go on buck top. Let's see. Oh, but Windrunner, she is here. She could land a shackle. She doesn't actually have it latch again. She uses the Windrun. There is the Maledict, but Bane just finishing off with that Brain Sap. Goodbye, Witch Doctor. And now Windrunner, maybe she isn't. No, they're gonna get off Phonic finally with the Maledict.
Yeah. But good usage of that Fiend's Grip. Down towards the bottom rune spot, they land a double raise on the Tusk, but not going to net them any kills. So finally they bring down the beast that is this offlane Night Stalker. 4, 2, and 3, an absolute menace, but it is going to give them a lot of gold, especially for their Witch Doctor. But while all of this action is happening, Shadow Fiend is farming up a storm. Aloha Dance has been left alone. The Windrunner has been needed in other lanes and has been forced to rotate. So Aloha Dance is currently sitting on 79 CS after it finishes up this Satyr, compared to the 38 of the Windrunner. That's a little bit skewed since a lot of these are neutral creeps for Aloha Dance. He is farming jungle very efficiently, but across the board, getting so much gold. And he's going to turn this into a mechanism for the team. Bottom lane.
Yeah, there's going to be the Ice Path, and Owl almost getting out. They're trying to deny him, but it's not going to work. I think Oh, I think just letting him run away would have been the actual play there, but it seems
does
like it was
both
hard
ways.
to get out. Yeah, it seems like a very hard way to get out, so...
Yeah, a reasonable attempt coming out from Resolution. They'll toggle off that Nightmare, and it just doesn't do quite enough damage, but another dive. Funnick is under the tower. Paralyzing Casca is there. He's incredibly fast. Takes out the tower and starting to run away. Dual Breath and Ice Path will connect. Funnick is starting to take a good amount of damage. Ice Shards bounce him back. Will the damage be there with the Maledict? It will, and that's going to be another kill. Onto the Night Stalker. Victor picking up both of them.
Yeah, but again, another kill on the Night Stalker at the expense of nearly their entire team rotating. Slark has gained so much free space from this. He previously, he had a lot of folks in his lane harassing him up, but not anymore. And the fact that you have to rotate 4, even sometimes 5 heroes up to deal with a Night Stalker, that's ridiculous.
For sure, and FN's now sitting on 2,000 gold in the bank. Compare his net worth to that of the Spectre. Not doubling her up, but getting darn near close to it, and his first item is going to be a lot more impactful than the urn coming out from the Spectre. Whether this is a Blink, a Midas, or a Shadow Blade, I think is up to personal choice for the Slark. Depends on when he wants to hit with his first rotations, but still, he'll be able to rotate and have a lot more effectiveness. It seems like, across the board, space created is pretty much Funnick's mantra this game.
Yeah, doing a really, really fantastic job of this. Also, Aloha Dawn's getting very close to that mechanism. I'm not quite sure if their team fight is up to par with a Jakiro, Tusk, Witch Doctor, but they're going to have the mech much earlier on their side, and so they can go into these team fights and just really run them over because of heal. So it should be pretty good. And now Slark is farming in the jungle. Of course, does have that Shadow Dance, so he can just chill. He's got a lot of gold. Do you think he's just gonna straight buy
Shadow Blade?
Yeah. I feel like it is a good game for the Shadow Blade over the Blink, especially since Spectre will probably eventually get a Radiance.
Yeah. In general, a great item to have on your Slark. He's going to have enough gold to pick up that Shadow Blade in just a second. In fact, he has it right now, just to keep on farming. What else could it be for this Slark? I think those are the 3 most conventional options, and it is just going to be the Lothars.
Yeah, a really nice pickup. We've seen some folks prefer the Midas, but this will work too. It looks like they're trying to gank somebody in this bottom lane. There's going to be a Nightmare going to set up for both of those raises. Ice Shards do come up. Never mind, they're setting up the Requiem Souls and using the Fiend's Grip. A little bit surprised there. It is daytime, but only for 5 more seconds, so Funnick trying to get closer to do something. And... yep, there it is. Now he's running super fast. He does have this little bit of the stun mischance out. There's the Ice Shards out on Snowball. I think a bit of a mistake by Mitch to come in close, but wow.
He had to. Like, there's no other play for him to make there. Now they'll chase down for Grazine. Funnick's casually diving. Tier 3s at this point, why not? Power Shot's going to miss. He's going to take some damage from Spectral Dagger. Healed up by the Dazzle. They are going for it. Cole will survive. But that is not much of a consolation. Victor TP's to the tower. He probably shouldn't be. Buyback the Tusk. He wants to get in on this. But they're casually planting themselves on the enemy side of the map. If nothing else, this sends a message. Funnick is going to take the Ice Shards, stuck inside the Ice Path too, but Shallow Graved Up is continuing the dive onto Mitch. The Tusk is going to die. Cole is trying to get this return kill, and Jakiro will finally bring down Funnick. But it took them long enough and cost them buybacks. Tick damage under Resolution is good. Ice Path will connect. The Bane is in a bit of peril now. Dual Breath, however, not going to reach. Has wand charges and has a brain sap. Should things have gone south, it's a 1 for 4?
Yeah, it was a big mess of a team fight. I maybe don't know how this interaction works. I don't understand why Funnick popped the Night Stalker ultimate there.
It's decreases the vision of the towers, the heroes, the wards, makes it so very hard for them to fight. Mostly for the decreased vision on the tier 2 and the tier 3. It's terrifying to play up against, and yeah, although it is during nighttime, that's the reason why it goes for that. Yeah. Now Victor is being dove by FN. He has the Shadow Dance. Can he get down to low ground? No pounce available right now. Nightmare's going to be thrown onto a low hat dance. Unfortunate for them, Resolution will get off the brain sap and will sustain himself a while longer, although he is dangerously low. TP down by the Slark. Close call. The Ice Path not going to clip him. Now the Shadow Fiend's looking for round 2 onto the creep wave. We'll just double raise that one down. 14-9 is our kill score, but the story is really shown in the net worth graph.
Yeah,
oh
now
Mitch.
Down again, and now Funnick's back alive, and he's just gonna walk them down. He doesn't even need to use his spells. He's huge at nighttime. A really beautiful shackle shot, but I don't think it's enough. And coming in on the sidelines, ready to enfeeble if he needs to. There's nice casts bouncing around, but Funnick going in ham again. He's finally been maledicted up. There is the focus fire, but I don't know if that's enough. Taking a lot of damage on Booktop as well. Was that just Nope. Okay, looks like Funnick gonna be a-okay with all of the sustain. And as you said, looking at the net worth, we're over 10k gold lead for this side of Ukraine. They're still going in. The shackle shot doesn't land, so Lacoste is gonna fall now. Muko throwing out those costs. There is the Spectre ult, but nobody's low. Actually, Tusk coming in again. They've also haunted out Funnick. They're going on him. They finally punch him down. Spectre going in on the Bane. Bane just taking quite a bit of damage, but still has that brain sap. That's pure damage. Funnick, FN coming in with that Shadow Blade, gonna kill up Grazine. One last Dazzle here, getting her dead. Now, Bane maybe gonna deny himself, trying to get that last hit on the Spectre. Spectre does, and is maybe gonna find a way away, but Tusk falls as well. Another Blood Bath going firmly in favor of Team Ukraine.
Cole is stuck inside the trees. They know he's here. They walk around the other side and don't spot him out. And now Dazzle, so very close. They got him. And Cole is stuck inside the trees. Shadow Bladed Slur coming from sideline. Double Raise will connect. Aloha Dance gets dominating spree, and FN pounces over Spectre's dead body. They get a couple of killing sprees ended in that last engagement, so it's at least something to somewhat stop the bleeding for Team Yugoslavia, but they're not finding any space on this map. Ukraine are completely balling out of control. We talked about the potential for them to do that inside the draft, and they're doing it a lot faster than I thought they would. Funnick is a menace. He's going to be going towards the Aghanim Scepter first, and the item progression just isn't there for the Dyer's side. The biggest item they picked up is an urn on the Spectre.
Definitely, and oh, the amount of sustain in these team fights, Dazzle showing that he is most certainly worth it. We're gonna also see the Ag's almost done on Nightstalker. It's terrifying. He just doesn't go down. He's got a lot of armor. He's picked up that cloak, casual cloak as well, to take less magic damage from all the stuff coming out of the Jakira. Another nighttime popped. Maybe just gonna try to find someone. What is okay? Resolution is being a bit rude to Aloha Dance.
Well, Shadow Blade done for Aloha Dance. At this point, they're just having fun with it. For the side of Yugoslavia, there really is no fun. They're picking up items on Grazine to try and accelerate themselves towards items on this Windrunner. It's gonna take too long, and now FN's coming in like a bullet train. Shadow Blade right into a class will blow up the Jakiro. They'll get good shackle onto the Slug, but no follow-up, and now Nightmare over onto Mitch. Fiend's grip onto him too. One raise will connect, and they'll just beat him down right next to that tree. Mega kill will be the order of business for Aloha Dance. There's just no space. How do you come back into this game? Can you?
So I think on the bright side, right, they're going to start losing their tier 2s now, but they still do have them. They have some decent wave clear with a Jakira, with a Windrunner. Oh, never mind, as I say that, Witch Doctor getting jumped by the Slog again. He's so mobile. He's just all over the place, and I think you have some decent wave clear, but it's really scary, right? You need to extend this game like another 40 minutes for your Spectre to do anything, and of course, that power shot, not the best. Bane blinking in, hasn't got a Fiend's grip, but has a Nightmare, certainly more than enough to set it up, but it looks like they have a Tusk coming in from the side, but nobody's low. Finally, Resolution taking some damage. There's the Focus Fire and the Haunt. Resolution's probably going to fall, but there is the Shallow Grave coming out. Wicked Six could be helping him out a little bit more. There is the heal and the Brain Sap, healing him up almost to full, but he's finally going to fall, but FN, he's ready to go, and Mitch probably going to take a tumble here. He doesn't have the Snowball, so he just falls. There's the Shadow Dance. Now FN just fighting with no punishment. A nice cast does actually come out. It's going to be pretty good for the bouncers, letting the rest of them retreat. So it is a 1-for-1, which is of course huge for this team of Yugoslavia right now, but the wave is still pushing and they're going to back up. The other thing that we hadn't already mentioned is they actually have a minus armor lineup on Team Ukraine. So everything they do hits super hard.
It's absolutely terrifying. The medallion's up for the Dazzle to make that even worse inside these team fights, and the items that they'll pick up from that last fight aren't there at all. Spectre's sitting on a good lump sum of gold. She's 1,000 gold, or give or take, until she has that relic up, but just the relic isn't enough either. She needs the full radiance, and then probably some more items on top of that. The minus armor synergy is going to make it really hard to itemize inside this game, and they're just going to need to rely on Team Ukraine overextending. And by overextending, I mean under tier 4s into the well. Tier 3s do not offer you any safety, as we've seen time and time again.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Definitely. Oh, I mean, that's the other problem with a Windrunner and a Spectre. Both of them do take a bit longer. Of course, Windrunner needing Ags. I'm not sure if there's anything else they can itemize for to come online faster. Right? Not sure what's the best thing to do with this lineup, and yeah, we can already see Team Ukraine coming up this mid lane. They have got the weave on them. They're gonna take no damage. Funnick pops that nighttime. He does actually get stunned out, as does Resolution, taking a lot of damage. But now they've got such big armor, and there's not enough magic damage. This tower going down very quickly. There's an ice shard coming out. Does kind of block Funnick a little bit, but he's lickety split at nighttime, and they're trying to do some more damage to that Slog. FN just gonna pounce, dog pact, and pounce away from that. And now Funnick going deep into their base. They have no one to shackle him to. Lacoste taking that Fiend Strip to the face. There's finally the Spectre ulti, but Lacoste goes down. He actually has to buy back. Resolution taking quite a bit of damage. There's finally a Deathwood, but Aloha is just going to channel that Requiem of Souls. They stun him up. FN still in the backline toting everyone. There was a full channel on the Deathwood, and nobody is dead still. Mitch going down to FN. Grizine now taking a lot of damage from Funnick. Funnick maybe finally going to fall. They have a stun. They have a shackle that somehow latches. They take down the raid boss of Funnick, but their mid tower is gone.
Still, it's a 2-for-1 exchange. They get the Bane, they get the Night Stalker, and trade for the Tusk. They can't make that exchange in the future, and it does cost them a buyback on Jakiro. But since they are so far behind, the gold exchange is going to be in their favor. So it's a necessary trade, and they've slowed things down, but not by much. The snowball is still rolling for the side of Team Ukraine, although a little bit slower. Maybe they have to wait for the next round of items. Have Shadow Fiend invest his 3,000 gold in the bank, 3,000 gold in the Slark too, that could be turned into something major, and then wait for the Aghanim Scepter up for the NS. Once they have those items, I don't see the fight going as manageably for the side of Team Yugoslavia, and even worse, take down a Roshan. Just play things safe. There's no reason to risk it.
Yeah, and it's scary. I'm trying to brainstorm ways that you get back into this. I mean, I feel like kind of one of the only ways to get back in is really to wait for Team Ukraine to make a big mistake.
Yeah, probably. They are getting a constant stream of gold on this Windrunner with the Hand of Midas. She's going to get closer and closer towards her Ags. And if you compare her net worth to that of the Slark and the Shadow Fiend, she is very far behind. But if you take into consideration the fact that Slark hasn't invested 3,000 of his gold, well, now he is. He's going to go towards the Scott. He has the ultimate orb up on his person. Her impact inside the fights isn't too far away if she can land a good shackle. And the last couple fights, they have had a couple of those. But now Aloha Dance with a double damage rune, going to move in the Roshan pit. Can he do this alone? I think he can. It'll take him a while.
And now he's not alone yet, but he is hitting like a truck, has that presence of the Dark Lord. Roshan also medallioned, he is falling, but yeah, they're gonna get an Aegis, and these racks being exposed, this is scary. Now, Spectre does have the relic, it's not enough, but it's a good start. And they give it to Night Stalker, it makes sense, he's a truck, nobody's gonna be killing him.
It allows Funnick to play as he has been throughout the last couple of fights. He's been the only one that's been dying since he's been going under tier 4s. But Resolution has a Mask of Madness on the Bane. Flying out to him on the Courier. I'm not sure what that's about, but sure, movement speed. It's a great item.
These are one of those things you need to be a little bit careful about. There is that rubber band effect. Yes, you're ridiculously far ahead, but this is usually where we see teams, like, if they go for silly items, we sometimes do see them fall because of that. So I don't know if that'll be anything, you know, that can happen this game. Funnick pops the nighttime. We're going to be seeing what happens. That Darkness out there. They're taking this Rax. They actually blink forwards. A lot of people ice stunned up, but Bucktop probably going to fall here. Witch Doctor trying to use that Glimmer Cape to get away. There's a Spectre ultimate, and everybody trying to back out on this Radiant side, but now Aloha Dance channeling that Requiem of Souls, doing a lot of damage. Booktop is down. Bane somehow managed to kill him. Funnick also beginning to go down, but Grizine, why'd you go on the one target with the Aegis? Lacoste taking a lot of damage, almost being 3-shot by Aloha Dance, and now, yeah, Funnick does fall, but that's an Aegis, and they have 2 to fight up against that Mitch. Gonna take a lot of damage there. He does have the snowball, but now he has this, he's in silence, he can't use it. A little bit confused on the timing there, looking like Mitch might fall. He almost gets back to the fountain, and now Cole in a lot of trouble. He's being stunned up. He does have that Radiant. There is gonna be a lot of damage on Funnick, but he buys a casual Ghost Scepter just so that he can properly fountain dive. He's gonna burn down to Radiance though. In the meantime, their melee racks is going down. Their ranged racks is gone as well. So losing 2 racks, they have some buybacks coming out. Booktop is back. Maybe this Ice Shard will work. They do manage to get the stun, but Booktop, he goes down 2 shots between those 2 heroes with the Shadow Blade, and now, again, Cole needs to back all the way up, feeling like he can't fight against all 5 of this Radiant team.
And they probably can't. The melee barracks and range barracks in mid have both fallen. Although, they're not completely being out-farmed. There are a couple heroes in the middle of the pack for the Dire squad. The advantage is ridiculous. With a Fiend's Grip onto Cole with no follow-up, Resolution might be in some trouble. He's going to get focus fired down and will die. But now Funnick's coming in, as is FN. Inside the Macapar, they're burning down low. So they are forced to use the Slack Shadow down. Still get away a little bit further to safety, and for now have been repelled.
Yeah, they're unfortunately, for the side of Yugoslavia, not going to get any more return kills. They still did very well in that team fight, all things considered, but not as much as they needed to save their base. It's one lane of racks. The game's not over yet. It is looking very, very difficult, but it is only one lane of racks, so...
And if there is a hero that can scale into the late game, it is Spectre. Cole is going to need a lot more than what he's currently sitting on in order to accomplish that. And they also have the Hand of Midas running on the Windrunner. It's not something that you can underestimate, the late game scaling power of the Dire squad, but right now their supports are getting nothing. And it's more than a 20,000 gold advantage at 25 minutes in the game with a Rax ahead. And although the experience isn't as vastly in the favor of Team Ukraine, it's still significantly in their side. It's going to be a miraculous comeback if they can pull it through. And right now, they just don't have the appropriate heroes to allow that comeback. Spectre isn't very good when it comes to dealing with these super creeps, neither is Windrunner. Spectre is a spread-focused carry, but her damage doesn't scale further than Radiance when it comes to dealing with these creep waves in an AoE, and after that it's mostly just tanking up for Cole, and they don't have those big wombo combo ultis that could set things up. In theory, Ice Path plus the Witch Doctor ultimate and then maybe a Shackle is as good as it gets, but if there's buybacks involved, that's not good enough.
Definitely. In the meantime, Bane just casual 2 null talismans, one in the little piggy bank and one Blink Dagger, Mask of Madness. Not quite sure what you go next on a big fat Bane like this. I would probably pick up some utility items, but
you have Mask of Madness, just go Daedalus.
Yeah, clearly it's the right thing. I mean, you hit kind of hard for having no damage items. We've got another Darkness popped, and they're going to put on the Weave, sieging this tower. Ice Shells come out, just trying to block the creeps. Grizzly makes the power shot miss, actually, and they're already in the base, going on Booktop, taking a lot of damage. The Glimmer Cape's not going to save you with the dust coming out, and Booktop actually put in the Snowball, going to save him for a little bit longer, but finally goes down. There is also the Spectre Haunt finally coming out. Funnick is going to go up into the air. Cole maybe trying to go on their backline a little bit. They've got Funnick in the base, maybe they can do something. He's shackled up as well. They're going to take out Funnick. That's a huge kill for them, and this push has been repelled. They need to get the creeps out of mid lane though, or they might lose some more structures. And we're going to be seeing everything calm down. Actually, never mind. FN is in their base. They do have a nice little sentry there. They actually managed to catch him with the ice shells, but of course they're just going to tickle him. He'll eventually just move out of vision. And now there's the Fiend's Grip on the coast by the Invis Resolution. Going to go down. Lickety split. Now we have Sloth just pouncing away, and they should probably work on other structures. There's a power shot. Not sure what's going on there. And Resolution nightmaring up Aloha Dance for funsies.
And then back to Wicked Sick. Poor Dazzle is going to be the one to pay for that dastardly prank, but they're going to keep on putting pressure on the enemy side of the map. It's only 27 minutes into this game, and it feels like it's so very hard for them to repel this push. Although the silver lining is there for the Dire squad. Their heroes aren't the highest levels, so their respawn timers aren't that low, especially when it's like Jakiro, Tusk, and Witch Doctor to get picked off, and generally it has been them. Resolution is going to look for maybe a Blink Nightmare, but he's just casually sitting where their tier 3 once stood, begging them to go on, and pops his Mask of Madness, and they're going to fight the Dust, and oh, nice dodge of the Shackle there, but he's still going to be snowballed, cussed up with that cask, and will end up going down.
Yeah, as much as this game does feel... Oh, they're actually still going. Ice Shells lands on Wicked Sick. Can they finish anything on him? He does have a Glimmer Cape in 6 seconds, but there's the stun, and now Wicked Sick is dead. Aloha Dance pops that BKB Requiem of Souls. Gem is dropped. That's going to be 3-shotting again, or Dazzle, Witch Doctor, but Dazzle has dropped a gem. Somebody needs to pick this up. Jakiro looking for it. Lacoste not going to get it. Funnick going to have it instead of that Agonist Nightstalk. He sees everything. FN coming into the base. They see him as well, though this tree is still here. Funnick doesn't manage to make the Shackle latch on him, and he's up in the air with this Ice Pulse. Will be happening. They punch him up. They've also got that Macro Pyre burning. Funnick quickly falling. And these little kills, they maybe seem just like, you know, one person dying here and there, but this is how you get back in a game. We can see that net worth chart falling steadily now.
Yeah.
Come over the top of the hill.
It really feels like Ukraine are starting to get a little bit ahead of themselves and are starting to give away gold, especially towards the Spectre. Compare Spectre's net worth to that of the Slark, and they're very close. Sure, Shadow Fiend is richer than anything. We don't talk about the Shadow Fiend. He really hasn't been very present with a lot of these dives. Shadow Fiend himself has played very reserved, and Aloha Dance looks like he's more interested in just ending this game. But that's neither here nor there when he has so many of his allies just getting caught out and getting picked off. But now it looks like they're going to kill off this Spec. If she's not careful, she really needs to be inside her base to be safe. And even then, I have a feeling Resolution would want to go for it if they had the vision. Right now, they're not going to.
She picked up a defusal. I'm also really surprised she's managed to not die. Cole playing this Spectre really well, really safely, still getting some kill involvement. So we're going to be seeing if they can make anything happen. But I think a lot of the name of this game is whether Victor on this Witch Doctor can stay alive to actually get the death ward off. He's been being one or two shotted by the opponents. That Shadowblade Slog. Oh, it's a Silver's Edge now and a Scotty. Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it really is. He's bought 2 bracers, has the Glimmer Cape. This is probably about as cost-efficient survivability as you can get for the 3,000 gold that he spent on it, or 3,000 gold inside his net worth, but it's probably not enough, especially when you have the vision offered by the Night Stalker. But for now, they don't have a gem. That was reclaimed by Lacoste. So now without that true sight for the Night Stalker, things do get a little bit harder for the Radiant side. Giving over that gem's a big deal as they'll feel comfortable enough to actually leave their base, which is more than what they could have said 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Now they're gonna work on sieging this, showing that with the maxed out ice shield and the power shot, they have a bit of D-push, but this mid tower doesn't have backdoor protection. There's an ice shield landing on Slog. He just manages to dog pack it off. Aloha Don's taking a lot of damage, does manage to pop his mech. He's now nightmared up as well. This tower steadily falling, it's down, working on the racks, making quick work of that with Aloha Don's damage and FN. Here's the Spectre ulti coming out though. Aloha Don's, you can't stun him with the snowball when he pops his BKB. Mitch taking a lot of damage. He's gonna need one more auto attack. Actually can't finish him off, and Aloha Dance, the BKB wears out the ice shield land. They need to work on this Rax. Aloha Dance is going to take a lot of damage. He's finally shallow graved up. Victor, again, being the one to be punished. He does have that Glimmer Cape on. He's maybe going to walk away. Could he cancel the Death Ward? He does. There is the Ghost, and now Revolution falling. Cole taking a lot of damage. They finally take out Cole. They might be able to pick up the Slog here, but no more damage. There's a shallow grave. He'll probably just get out. He's still actually going to pick off Mitch before he gets out. Do they have a power shot or anything that can hit him with the Glimmer Cape? There is no hope. This rack still stands, but they've lost a lot, and Phonic will finally pull Grisine getting away, but the Urn picking him off, so... Wow.
It'll end up being a pretty even exchange when it comes to the kills, but it does cost a buyback for the Spectre. The gold exchange is going to be in the favor of the Radiant side after all, because of that Spectre buyback, and now FN is coming in. He doesn't go for the Spectre, instead he's going to look for mid. He wants to reclaim the gem. Look at Evil Scepter onto the Slark. Right into the Ice Path, he's going to be dropped. They'll try to focus him down, but FN is way too tanky. It took them pretty much everything to try and drop him down, and even then they had the Shallow Grave, the Glimmer Cape to sustain him, and the Slark is almost unkillable. Although, given the right circumstances, they can do it. It's very hard.
So now he's just going to work on top tower, trying to make sure more of that base is exposed. Leaping away, not going to get caught by that ice path, just a really nice play there. And again, we've got Team Yugoslavia in another precarious position. They've got an exposed Rax bottom, missing that one in mid. And Slog thinking about going back in. Victor has been Fiend's gripped up, does manage to wait it out and pop that Glimmer. Actually, no, the stun up on the Bane. But at the same time, here comes Slog, and we know Victor's story with Slog. Oh, they put him in the ice path, and they're actually going to maybe get out. Victor needs to run away. Slog getting punched up. Witch Doctor does end up going down to the brain sap, but Slog, he's taken a lot of damage. If they can just figure out where he is, they have the gem, so this is a very dead Slog, and that is a huge kill onto Tusk somehow. At the meantime, their bottom Rax is taking a little bit of damage, but they're gonna be just fine.
The Radiant team have not taken a Rax for the longest of times. I'm really not sure if getting that on the Tusk is the greatest scenario for them. If they put that gold onto the Spectre, the Windrunner, that's huge, but now, Mitch can buy pretty much anything he wants, and it's going to be a Solar Crest. This is going to help out those other twos. No MKB has come out for the Slark yet, and no MKB is yet done for the Shadow Fiend, but what Shadow Fiend now does have is an Aegis the Immortal to pick up Roche.
Yeah, I think... I don't know if they wanted it on the Tusk. I think it was probably just a mistake that it ended up on him. Dead. Yeah, But I too was surprised. I was even surprised he got it. I thought for sure Jakiro or Windrunner being around. But either way, Windrunner, she does have the makings of a Daedalus almost there. Of course, her buyback status not anywhere near. So if she does get this Daedalus, she'll have to buy out. And they actually pop a smoke, wanting to see what interesting hold they can have there. They're outside the base. Windrunner should be seen. Doesn't throw a shackle, and so a bit of a wasted smoke. But I think there's still some people in the back line smoked up. Yeah, maybe they can still make something happen if they're too hasty on the side of Ukraine to push.
Yeah, right now it feels like they're gonna take things a little bit slower. They probably could have ended this game 20 minutes in if they didn't dive as aggressively and maybe with a few less of these nightmares on allies. But right now, they're just gonna pass it back and forth, having a little fun there behind enemy lines, but waiting for the next creep wave. Once they have it, they can probably just walk up and take this next set of barracks. But still, we've seen Yugoslavia hold, and maybe they can do it again.
Yeah, well, every time they fail a hold, Spectre gets bigger. She's got an ultimate orb up. There's a lot of different things that can go into the Manta, the Lincolns, even a sheep if she thinks that maybe the Night Stalker's too big, but probably that Manta. Anyway, we've got the engagement beginning. Ice Pulse does come out, doesn't actually latch on anyone, and now they're just working on that Rax again. Phonic going way up ahead to the zone, now pulling back the Snowball, going to be Mitch way deep in. There's the Spectre ultimate, but ignoring it entirely. Aloha Don's now channeling the Requiem of Souls. The Death Ward not hitting anyone because I can't see anyone. Mitch taking a lot of damage, he would need one more hit. Actually, Windrunner doing a good amount of damage to Aloha Dance, but needs to be careful of those razors. Picking off Lacoste on that Jakiro. Phonic now, he's going in, trying to call something. Maybe they just need to focus this Rax. FN is now picking up the gem. This Rax maybe finally going to go down. Aloha Dance in their base, almost zoning. Picks up Lacoste finally. Aloha Dance taking a lot of damage though. That's the Aegis. Resolution now probably going to fall to Spectre here, who's having the diffusal used, but the Rax is down. Sloth now coming into the fight. Grazine maybe going to just take 2 razors to the face and die. Doesn't manage to get that short range raise off. And now FN is in the fountain, just hitting people, picking up those essence shift stacks. He might not actually have a way out, and he dies and delivers them back the gem, but they get the ranged Rax. And Resolution limping away does manage to blink out. I think a very costly Rax engagement, but you got the Rax.
Yeah, this time around they can afford to dive as long as they get the structures first, and they'll be just fine with it. Aloha Dance is going to go for Helm of the Dominator next, has a consumed Moonshard, the Shadow Fiend is trucking, and won't really get any weaker. It's nice to get that exchange, but what does it mean when it comes to the item progression for the Dire side? We have a Vlad's up for the Tusk, that'll definitely help with dealing with these super creeps, and Cole now has an ultimate orb. But these items just don't compare. But the Monkey King Bar definitely does. Windrunner, instead of going for the Daedalus, is going to get the MKB, recognizing how important the evasion of the Shadow Fiend is.
Bane blunk into the base, doesn't have the cooldown on Fiend's Grip. Here comes the Snowball out on Bane, gonna get Warriors punched up, but there's the mech, and now Mitch is the one in a lot of trouble. Windrunner trying to do what she can to Aloha Dance with that focus fire, not getting enough crits. She finally does. Aloha Dance explodes all over everything. This top rack's not being attacked at all. Phonic now in a lot of trouble. There's the Death Ward going on FN. They see you. That's gonna be a dieback if he goes down. Phonic also taking a lot of damage from the Maledict, but it is finally over. Mitch now looking for somebody else he can go on, but he has no move, has no positioning item, so just gonna have to fall back. And Cole not wanting to pop that Spectre ult, a little bit confused. They do have the Snowball coming out on Phonic. Spectre is gonna ult for it, see if she haunts in and does use that dagger, and she does. She gets the kill on Phonic, so a lot of gold going over. She daunts again, gonna look for Wicked Sick, not quite sure where he is. He's trying to walk back to avoid them, but they will just find him. There will probably be a shallow grave. No, the Windrunner power shot making it so that can't even use that shallow grave. They have to watch out for their base, of course, but a huge turnaround for the side of Yugoslavia.
With some anti-stall done on the Spectre, that's a couple of pickoffs to help them back into this game. 2 barracks, however, is very hard to defend. They'll get a little bit of a win, but there's no point right now where they can even apply pressure onto this tier 1 tower in mid lane. It's already down to about half HP, but they can't threaten it unless they can keep these lanes pushed. So right now they need to start looking for items to help them keep these waves out. And I think Windrunner, although usually right now you'd want to focus more on that single target damage, might be forced to go for a Maelstrom.
Yeah, it's... Oof. It is a video game.
It is a video game.
I'm just really surprised. I think it's a kind of, you know, maybe these teams not taking it, not as worried about it, because normally we don't see this type of kind of fail push, but I think, not fail push, it's a push where they were a bit overconfident, but I think they still have all the trappings to win on the side of Ukraine, even though they've lost about 10,000 net worth. It still feels like they're very huge. They have the right items on their heroes. The Slog takes like the entire team to kill. Oh.
Yeah. The item for Windrunner is actually going to be a Blink, and considering how good the Shackles have been in a lot of these fights, might end up working out for them. Cole, able to get the Spectral Dagger off, even though Nightstalker had the silence, it was just a little too late, so he'll be able to walk away to safety. Close call for the Spectre. There was Resolution just a little bit closer, maybe they're able to get that kill. And Bane has now finally decided to go for more normal items. He has the BKB, and right now there is no way for them to cancel that channeling outside of the Walrus Punch coming out from the Tusk.
And the Focus Fire, she gets an MKB proc.
MKB proc doesn't cancel channeling through BKB. It's a magical bash.
I did not know that. Thank you. I was unsure. So, anyway, let's see what's going to be happening here. We have a lot of damage. We've got a Walrus Punch out already on Aloha Dance. There's the Spectre ulti. Aloha Dance going down rapidly. Doesn't have any backup. Gonna have to use that Flutter to get away. Grisino also taking a lot of damage. She's trying to Windrun away, but the Requiem of... Oh, the Resolution actually getting the Brain Sap off on her. Now there are Coconuts bouncing around, but at the same time, Victor taking a lot of damage from FN. Tries to channel that Deathwood, but it's not enough. They do manage to pick up Bane, but FN is somewhere around here. They know exactly where he is. He's TPing. They have nothing the AoE to stop that. So another... Actually, 2 for 2. And the tower push stops.
Yeah, Windrunner does go down. A really nice BKB Fiends rip coming out from that fight made it look like Ukraine would be able to pull ahead. And the biggest issue for Yugoslavia is the fact that these bottom and mid lanes are going to keep on pushing in. But they still are able to put up a very convincing show inside these engagements. And Spectre is starting to get pretty big. The net worth advantage that was once 20,000 in the favor of Ukraine's side has been pared down to a much more manageable 12,000 lead. If these fights were happening and they still had Varix in mid and bottom, I'd say that this is a great chance for a comeback for the side of Yugoslavia. Although right now, I think the chances are still slim. They're holding in, and this is the makings of a very big comeback.
Yeah, Spectre's also upgraded the diffusal. We've been seeing that a few times recently when people aren't actually out of charges and they're upgrading it anyway. At the same time, a tier 4 has fallen for the Dire, or on the Dire side. So this is the cost of defending that top racks, right? You're gonna have creeps in your base doing quite a lot of damage. Cole trying to do something, but he has a gank train. Yeah, an entire gank train being run on him. He's gonna back out, but there's the blink forwards. Bane has the Fiend's Grip. Cole taking a lot of damage. He does not have, he does have buyback. He certainly has buyback, so that's gonna be a forced out buyback. Slug in the meantime is on Victor again. Victor just living this everybody hates him life. Punic now just playing way far up. They don't manage to make the Shackle Latch, of course. He's got that Ghost Scepter as well. There's the Nightmare. He's gonna get out, and the Shallow Grave. Maybe not though. There comes the Macro Pyre. Punic going down really quickly. Spectre now gonna jaunt in from someone, defuseling Aloha Dance. Aloha Dance is gonna pop that Requiem of Souls. Everybody needs to get away. Mitch taking the entire thing. There's an Ice Pulse, but it's not gonna work. Finally applying when that BKB goes down, but now here comes FN on that Slug. Grisine taking a lot of damage. Does he have a, he's using the Focus Fire. The Shackle's not gonna latch. They do have Invis Detection, but at the same time, Wicked Sick, he's walking away. He's gonna go down. Can they catch Aloha Dance as well? There's another slow with that Purge, and now Aloha Dance also gonna die. Can they find the Slog? That was a huge turnaround. It should have been a gank on Spectre, but it doesn't go as planned. At the same time, they've lost more than half the health of that mid tower. Maybe it's time for Team Ukraine just to go for the tier 4s.
The Spectre was forced to buy back inside that last fight, so her item progression is pretty much shot. Another hold coming out from Team Yugoslavia. It's not a turnaround yet. The gold exchange still goes in the favor of Team Ukraine, although only slightly. We're just at the same state we have been for pretty much the last 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
This is very close. Mitch has a Maelstrom. This is going to help out with pushing out the lanes, and I think it's the right item choice. When you're against super creeps and an eventual mega creep situation that could arise, you need to have lifesteal, ways to sustain against the super mega creeps, super and mega creeps, and a way to clear them out. So Mitch has all three: Solar Crest, Vlad's, and Maelstrom. An awkward Tusk build, but Shackle, it lands on FN, and they'll be able to bring him down. Windrunner is doing so much damage in all of these fights. There's no buyback. 100 seconds on the sideline for the Slark. Now they can make it move.
Yeah, they can actually get outside of their base. Wow, they're maybe gonna even be able to take Roshan. I think they have more than enough damage right now, and this could allow them to take, you know, that tier 1 mid, maybe even a tier 2. So it sounds silly, but it's actually huge for them. If they can get rid of these outer towers, right, they're in a very good position to take one team fight and push it back. But this, wow, Roshan falling super fast.
Second life up for the Spectre. It's probably the right choice, and Spectre has no buyback, and Windrunner does have the buyback, even though Grisine is the one doing most of the damage inside these fights. The Shackles, the Focus Fires have been on point, and, well, Although they're not going to be able to push out to their base, I believe this should be like a tier 1, tier 2 push, maybe? At the very least, they'll take down a tier 1, and that's more than what we've seen objective-wise from the side of Team Yugoslavia for this entire game. Really? They're smoked up with 4 heroes. They find the Dazzle. Not going to lash to a tree. He has the Glimmer Cape. Not going to save his life. The damage is immense. And they'll be able to get that pick off and the tower after back. No buyback on Dazzle either. This is a 5 versus 3. They have Aegis, but now they have to deal with their other lanes. Bottom lane is starting to push in.
Mitch also almost has the Majol, which again, we just talked about how it's great for pushing, but at the same time, they can just pop it on someone and get a lot of those electric pops off. You can help the Spectre. Night Stalker Funnick going in, gonna see if anybody can actually stop him. I see some people coming back, some people not. Funnick just gonna damage Cole and run away, so it looks like they're gonna actually decide to push Grizane using that focus fire on that mid tower. It's falling so fast. I don't know if there's a good way to deal with this with so many of their heroes dead. Salt coming up in 5 seconds. It looks like the side of Yugoslavia gonna back out, but they finally got out of their base in a big way. In the meantime, in the mid, Funnick finally goes down. He drops... No, he doesn't drop a gem. He does drop a gem? I don't know. Up in top tower, though, they're getting a lot of damage being taken. They're going to go on a low hot dance. I don't know if he has a way out of here. He does have BKB TP, and he is going to use it. He's going to use that combination and get right out.
Yeah, they already spent the Walrus Punch. Had they held that Walrus Punch, maybe they're able to cancel that TP, but still, they're going to force the hand. From Team Ukraine. The tier 4 tower is going to take some pretty substantial damage, but still stands importantly. And now... this game starts to get very interesting. The Mjolnir that you're talking about a little bit earlier is now up for the Tusk, and everybody's getting their core items online. The advantage that was once held by Team Ukraine, it's almost down to 5,000 net worth advantage, and I think we can call that 5,000 net worth advantage effectively 0, as a couple of the items coming out from the Radiant side are not optimal builds. Mask of Madness Bane is incredibly clowny, doesn't help him that much, and really it's all about execution, mostly from the Windrunner. If she can land the shackles in these upcoming fights, absolute disaster for Ukraine. Could end up following, even though they weren't able to get high ground because they had to work through the tier 1, the tier 2. Next time around, the play is available. Should they need to go for it, tier 3 straight for Ancient if they catch the Slark and Shadow Fiend with no buyback.
And with the Windrunner, very low cooldown on Focus Fire, of course, a lot of damage on her right now. There's a lot you can do. So, also the Slark, he's finished up an MKB though, so not gonna let her Windrun away from him this time. But it looks like maybe they're going in. Oh no, they don't know the Slark is there. They should know. The Tusk, of course, died earlier, so lost his gem while standing right on top of the Slark. Doesn't know it. Now they're gonna back up. Maybe Night Stalker thinking about going in onto Mitch, but just casually throwing out the Void, backing out.
Yeah, they're just scouting with Funnick at this point. A double damage rune is going to spawn top. That could be huge if Windrunner is able to get her hands on it, or the Slark, or anybody, really. They'll smoke. Slark is going to pop that smoke as he farms the Ancients, but the rest of the heroes will continue going. There's a gem on either side, one for Funnick, one for Victor. And, well, it's go time. FN sitting on this double damage rune. Slark looks like he wants to pick that up as late as possible to make sure he has as long on that as he can. Backdoor protection is almost going to be disabled by the creeps pushing it in top lane. If they can get backdoor protection down and take a fight around the tier 4s, that could be the end of this game.
Yeah, and I think that they shouldn't even bother with the next set of racks. The dewarded immediately in base. There's another gem up on Tusk, so this game does get a little bit harder. But as you said, we have a DD on Slark for another few seconds.
It's probably going to expire, unless they take the fight now, which FN looks like he might want to.
Coming in, Cole, he's looking at FN. FN has the DD, just pounces away. Nobody really blinking. Maybe they're waiting for Roshan. Spectre's not, Shadow Fiend isn't with them at all, so not quite sure what happened in that fight. The other thing you can do is just kind of try to slow siege top, and maybe the creeps get some damage on that tier 4, or you can take a fight like 4v5 because somebody had to go defend.
They've been trying the slow siege play for 20 minutes now, at least. Closing in on 30 if we just let this go a little while longer, so I'm not sure if that's going to end up working for them. And now Cole's going outside of the base. The Fusel has a 0-second cooldown, so he's able to diff up Funnick again. They're going to lose the Night Stalker if they're not careful. Shallow Grave's there to buy Funnick a little bit of extra space. The dot damage, however, will be lethal. Funnick's going to die and lose his gem. This means that no gem is controlled by the Radiant side, and I don't believe they can buy another one. If we take a look at their shop, gems on cooldown for 8 minutes, so unless they kill off this Witch Doctor, or unless they're able to pick it up inside their base, maybe it's in a stash, so maybe that's not even an option, they're not going to have that true sight, which makes the Dire side feel a lot more comfortable moving around the map. They can finally start getting some more control. This game shouldn't have been this close.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It feels like bit of mistakes or thinking they were too far ahead. But the other thing to note is that mid tower, it took about 200 damage from one creep there, getting through the defenses. So again, you just have to watch out all the time. Team Ukraine can afford to make a lot of mistakes still, which is kind of odd, right? It's one of those things where, like, you don't expect that a team who's already gotten it back down to zero net worth almost, Ukraine can still make it. And so yeah, hashtag space, there is just, oh my goodness, Lacoste having that Shivas, all these items just built around base defense and wave clear. Really nice itemization coming out of Team Yugoslavia.
Yeah, and they'll continue doing just that. The Radiant side can't penetrate this base defense right now. There's just not a great way for them to go about it. The good news for them is that there is no Aegis anymore for the Dire team, but Cheese is held by the Spectre, and buybacks are starting to come off of cooldown and starting to get enough gold for them. Windrunner has bought out. She doesn't have buyback for 270 gold whereabouts, and Spectre's not with buyback for 750. So if they're able to kill them now, that's one thing, but I expect they have to play like they do have buyback. It's too much of a risk to go in for the YOLO push.
So it is very difficult. We see a lot of rotations in mid. Maybe they're going to go for Slok. Of course, they do have the vision for him. He runs off to the jungle. So nothing going to latch there. I would love to see a mobility item on Tusk. I would love to see the Blink next. I know he has spent a lot of money and he has to be wary of buying out. Actually, nobody has buyback right now except for Jakiro.
Yeah, it's actually insane how little buyback is being held.
Yeah, we're 50 minutes into this game. This is not normally what you see, especially in a game where you're 2 racks down, but it's just demanding they get up those items. So we're not going to see a blink on Tusk probably until he has that plus buyback.
Yeah, both teams are going to be bluffing, and whenever it is bluffing, no harm, no foul, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, we're paused. Spectre is going to reconnect. We'll be getting back into this game shortly. I don't really think anything major is going to happen unless somebody gets caught out. The ways that's going to happen, you have a Blink Shackle on Grazine, and you have the Shadow Blade on the Slark. Although the Shadow Blade on Slark is significantly less important, Blink Grip might be the better opportunity.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like if they can blink grip, they might be able to actually pick somebody off. And again, taking that fight 4v5 could just be what they need to win. There are no more structures, right? If they can just either take a team fight out of the base for Team Yugoslavia, they might be able to push it in, but it's still really hard. And yeah, they've got the last 2 towers in this game for the Radiant, for the Dire side, both at around 130 and then 200 health. It feels like it should be easy to break those, but these crazy team fights instead.
Yeah, Night Stalker, as the game progresses now at level 16 Ultimate Nags, he's able to keep his night time up very a large chunk of the game as a whole, and whenever darkness is up and running, the Dire team's vision is very weak. If we take a look, the ward that they do have down hardly covers this ramp area. They're pretty black on the map, and Grazine might get caught out here, but he does have teammates around, and Vayne isn't in a good position.
Taking top tower.
He got the tier 3, but that tier 3 doesn't matter if he ends up going down here. It's all about the racks at this point.
Yeah.
With the Ghost Scepter, he's going to get away. Top racks are now exposed.
And just again, little by little, you can play Dota this way. If either team makes a big mistake, of course, the other team is just gonna win, probably taking tier 4s. We have a Shackle Shot coming out, nothing seeming to latch, but there is the Yule's up. Now Spectre has ultied in, she's coming in, trying to stop Resolution with that Fiend's Grip, but Grazine goes down, does have buyback immediately using it, Resolution taking a lot of damage, but does have that BKB. Victor channeling that Deathward, Aloha Dance has nothing to do against it, he does already pop the Satanic, but Deathward doing a huge amount of damage. Tusk also buying back FN now, he's taking a lot of damage. He doesn't have any way to get invis for 2 seconds, and even if he does, where is this vision? There is no vision, so he can just Silver Edge away, and in the meantime, they didn't lose any more damage on that mid tower because Tusk was back there defending with his Majolina.
What they don't know is that Shadow Fiend has no buyback. He's 130 gold shy. A really close call there. If they can kill off Slark, maybe they'll feel comfortable going outside of their base. But right now, They've bought back on some of their heroes, so it's a delicate situation. Bash on Nicole, or Mini Bash rather, from the Monkey King bar, but nobody's going to be able to engage. But FN wants to go again. If he can kill Grazine, that's absolutely huge. She's on buyback timer. If they kill off this Windrun, it could all be over. He's going to pounce her up. Windrun not going to save you against that MKB Slark, and she's going to die on the sidelines for 108 seconds. But now FN has to get out safely. Dual Scepter's there, right into the Ice Path. He does have a pounce, Dark Pact, as well as the Shadow Dance. Looking for the Shadow Dance TP. AoE stun to cancel that, not available on the Ice Path, and nobody else was close. Snowball in mid. They're going for Funnick while all that is happening. But with 90 seconds on cooldown for their Windrunner, how do Yugoslavia defend?
Probably the same way they've been defending, using the Spectre to kill everyone. But yeah, Wicked Stick coming around the back, pops a weave. The rest of his team isn't there yet. I mean, this would be 4v5 either way, but Funnick going in ham. He might just be trying to do that buy some space play. He's backing up a little bit, waiting for the Slork and the Bane to get into a better position. But as you said, this is a weird 4v4 engagement. Cole coming in, doing a lot of damage with that Radiance, of course, now using the Diffusal. They can see you, Wicked Stick, and Wicked Stick goes down. Slork trying to come around from the side, seeing what he can do. He actually just wants to get in and do the racks because they don't have backdoor. There is the Bane gripping up Mitch, trying to buy some time. Funnick doing a lot of damage, not going to be able to do anything to that BKB Bane, and immediately stopping the Death Ward on Victor. He just needs to run away. In the meantime, Slog, he got some damage on that Rax, but it's the regenning one. Slog taking a lot of damage. He is slowed up. He is in that Shadow Dance. He is still stunned though. There comes the Spectre Horn. Slog, I don't think he's going to get away from this one alive. Doesn't matter. In the meantime, Aloha Dance getting punched up by Mitch. Slog still appears to be alive. He finally goes down. Mitch now finally falling. The melee, the range rack is down. Melee's down. Range is falling. Range is gonna fall in 2 hits. The 1 hit from Aloha Dance does the trick. Even if he dies here, he got something good out of it. Doing the Requiem of Souls right on top of the Spectre, barely damaging him, but of course the damage reduction Lacoste taking a few lost hits to die. Aloha Dance probably not gonna get out of this one alive. Jakiro does have to buy back. Maybe can TP.
The throne is exposed. The creeps are going for it. 1,000 HP on this throne. Can they defend against this? There's no Select. There's no Shadow Fiend. If they go for the buyback play now, it's too risky, so they're not going to, and barely. Yugoslavia are going to hold. 44 to 52. Mega creeps are there. Kill those darn catapults. Dire's Ancient will survive on 840 HP while all that is happening. Still, Yugoslavia have a chance. This is probably their only chance, but with buyback on the Slark and Chef Fiend, it's a slim one.
Yeah, that was a ridiculously good fight. I think a really nice job to kind of spread out the fight, feeling like Yugoslavia has a lot better team fight consolidated and close up, whereas Ukraine.
Spectre.
Oh, stalking. No, it's gonna be.
No.
Okay.
Well, look at her items. We have a Divine Rapier on.
Oh,
Cole.
I didn't see that. I thought you meant she was like stalking someone in mid, and I was like, no, that would be her own Windrunner. I can see why they would be together.
Okay, so let's talk about the side in a second.
Does it work?
It's probably the only way that they win this game. They need as much damage on the buildings as possible. This is not a hero killing rapier like you'd see on a Dusa, like a Gyro. It doesn't clear waves nearly as quickly as those heroes, but you know what? I can't knock it. It's probably their best way to win this game, although it doesn't synergize with their ulti at all. But they're going for the throne. Night Stalker's inside their base. Funnick, not Ice Path yet. They have the Shackle. That'll get them the mini stun. They do get a silence onto Grazine. That's going to slow this down. Yule Scepter onto Night Stalker. You see in the air. Slark is going for the Ancient. 174 HP. They'll stun him with the Ice Path, but FN, Horror's Punch. Can they stop the Slark from killing the Ancient? He's going to be able to get it with the catapults, and finally Ukraine take the victory. But my goodness, that was so close.
Yeah, that was much more tense than it needed to be, but still, you know, really exciting. Good, exciting Dota, and I believe Ukraine has another game right after this.
We'll be playing against Germany in a best of 2. Thanks for watching here on Pro Dota EN. I've been Grant. She's been Llama Down Under. You can find us on Twitter under both of those names if you like the casting. Shout out to the sponsors. esportgaming.com, Hitbox, Gosu Gamers, G2A, and Dota 2 Lounge. We'll be back with the second